We're back with Ward 22 Alderman Jeffrey Boyd. And Jeffrey, that's a stunning stat. 105 homicides this year. Less than half have been cleared, meaning police arrest someone and file charges. Now, without witnesses, this is something that prosecutors and police tell us in the media all the time. Without witnesses speaking up, residents speaking up, it's difficult. How do you tackle the no snitch code in the streets?
Well, first of all, I want to say that unfortunately my nephew was 102. So I certainly have a personal stake in somebody saying something. See, I think young people have it twisted. They have it mixed up. They misunderstand what snitching is. Snitching is when you and I go do something bad, you get caught, and then tell on me. Okay, that's snitching. But we have a personal responsibility in our community to tell and do the right thing.
And Alderman, we heard Chief Dotson mention that he had 3 more homicide detectives who started this morning, another 2 on the way. There have been repeated calls from the chief and from the mayor to add 160 new officers to the city. The mayor just said today they've got a board bill that's already ready to go, and that lies now with the board. What are your thoughts? Is more law enforcement the answer to this, and will you vote for that?
Well, absolutely, law enforcement is, but it's only one part of the solution. It's only one part of the solution, and I would certainly support it. Our police officers are overtaxed with calls after calls after calls and responding to service. It's hard. Steve and I talked about community policing. It's very challenging for them to do the warm and fuzzy stuff and get to know our neighbors because they're busy responding to calls.
And just for the record, you are a big believer in community policing.
Absolutely. You know, I grew up with Officer Friendly. You know, we knew the police officer and we respected the police. But somehow, you know, that respect has gotten lost over the years.
You like to break down that barrier of mistrust.
Absolutely.
Mistrust.
And that's the key, the trust. The community needs to trust the police.
Now, Alderman, a lot of the reaction to your statements the night that your nephew was killed have come into us through social media. As we've mentioned, Steve posted that interview on his Facebook page. More than 1,600 people have commented on it. So we've funneled a couple of those questions. We're hoping to kind of continue the conversation through those. So the first one, one individual asked, why can the National Guard not be brought in to patrol these streets? We know you're not the person who would make that call, but you're familiar with these neighborhoods. What message would that send? One that would help stop the violence, or the wrong message?
Well, I'm an Army guy, and I can tell you in my neighborhood, I would not want to see the National Guard because that wouldn't give me comfort. That would make me more afraid. And when people travel through my community, they see the National Guard, that sends a very bad message about our community. That's not something that I would support.
Someone also asked any idea on what we can do as a community to bring about change in the community. This person mentioned that they're helping to volunteer at local schools. Is that an answer, getting to some of these individuals at a younger age?
Absolutely. That's one small part. You know, I often preach in the neighborhood, let's be good neighbors. How about starting with just saying, good morning, hello, how was your day, anything I can do for you? I mean, stuff that doesn't cost a whole lot of money. That's what we need to do. I cannot say enough about inserting yourself in the life of somebody who's in desperate need. Yeah,
that reminds me of what we talked about before we went on the air. You're a big believer in mentoring, but you made the point not just mentoring youth,
yes,
mentoring adults in some cases as well. What do you mean by that?
Absolutely. Well, we all have careers, and when we go to work for a company or a corporation, there's almost always somebody there that we can look up to that's going to mentor us, that's going to help us in our career path. Why not use that same strategy to help our neighbor? You know, we're not all strong. I mean, there are some of us out there who are struggling with stuff, and we just need somebody to talk to us and encourage us and let us know, hey, it's going to get better. You know, the glass is half full. You know, we don't talk enough to each other. We're so busy. We're texting, we're emailing, we're doing all this busy stuff. We can't even pay attention to our kids.
Another comment we received on Facebook, why doesn't the alderman bring up the fact that every common criminal has easy access to guns? We should march for that too. One of the things Chief Dotson mentioned today, he called it a public health crisis for our community, the easy access to guns. Do you agree with that?
Well, I would just personally prefer to march for somebody. I want to encourage somebody. So if I'm marching for someone who has lost a loved one, that's what I would rather do. I mean, we need to go to Jefferson City and march about this legislation and how guns are so easily accessible in our community. That's our state legislature's problem, and they need to do better.
And quickly, in the time we have allotted, there's a march this weekend. You want to make people aware of.
Yes, there's a peace rally this Saturday at the Demetrius Johnson Charitable Foundation, 724 Union. The march starts, I believe, at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, but you can go to my website on the events and see it, and I'll tweet it again so people can know. And we expect to get let's show some love, St. Louis. Let's come out and let's support everybody who has lost somebody. It just makes you feel better because oftentimes we think no one really cares.
Yeah. Well, again, our condolences to you and Rashad's entire family. Our condolences to everybody watching this who may have lost a loved one or a friend to senseless violence. Thank you very much for coming in and sharing your thoughts.
You're welcome.